Hello everyone, my name is Tara and welcome to Aligning to Love. In this channel I aim to spread hope, joy, peace, and love to the world by sharing goodness and love within my life. In this video I wanted to give my family and personal life updates and events and the signs that I saw along the way. I have been trying to catch up from my events from the month of July, and I've been doing video after video trying to catch up because this is our last night in this apartment, and my goal was to be able to be up to date when we left this apartment. And so I had left off in a previous video on July 20th, and so it is now August 1st. So I'm going to see if I can get the next 11 days into this video, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to. And if not, I'll do the last update about this week in my parents' house, which we're going to be moving into for the month of August, and then we'll be transitioning to the new house that we will be renting. And so there's been so much that's happening, and I apologize in advance. I don't know whether I have allergies or whether I've been stressed with the moving process and that my immunity is weakened, and so I'm sorry if I sniff during the video. I am someone that does not edit my video. Everything is in real time, and I don't have time to edit right now in my stage of life that I am, let alone time to film when my family's either sleeping or engaged with their own things. And so I apologize in advance if this drives you nuts, and if it does, maybe you should skip this video, or the all the videos that I've uploaded with the same outfit on, because I just really want to be able to update my experiences in this apartment while we're still here, and capture just everything that I've been feeling and everything that's happened while we're still in the spot that we've been in for the last 10 years. It just means so much to me, and it is so bizarre seeing it all empty, and knowing how much of a filled and full life that we had here. And it's not like we're dying, but it does feel like definitely a chapter or a book closing. And so I know that there's lots of good things to look forward to, but I do want to be able to just share everything that I want to share that we've been through. And so I left off on the 20th, which was a Sunday, and then July 21st was that Monday. It was a very low-key day. There wasn't many big things that happened, but I had been trying to research a place that does carpet cleaning, like steam cleaning, and then specializes in cleaning apartments. And the only one that I had found, and that was eco-friendly, was one that was going to cost over $500, up to close to $700. And we are responsible, my husband and I, as tenants, responsible for doing the end of moving out cleaning. And so, and making sure that carpets get steam cleaned. And so we wanted to find a company that could do that for us. And yeah, that company that I thought altogether it was going to be around $200 to $300, but I was really surprised to find out that adding the cleaning part of the rooms out aside from the carpet cleaning was like double. So we didn't go with that, but somebody in the apartment who is kind of like the landlord, she oversees a lot of the apartment buildings and the tenants within it, even though she lives within the apartment. She told me about this other man that does it. He's elderly, but he does it at the cheapest and most reasonable prices. But I am going to plan to pay him more, because he is older, and she told me that he actually did just get out of a medical situation, and so I want to make sure that he's taken care of, especially because he's doing such a big favor to us. And so on this day, that's when she told me that she had booked him and that he was able to come on the day that we move out to do all of the carpet cleaning. We'll have to take care of the other dusting and the other cleaning of the surfaces and things like that, but he'll do the big carpet cleaning, which will be wonderful. And so I was really happy. And that day I saw angel number 1010 and 1212. And I've said in previous videos, whenever I see 1010, I always realize that when I see those numbers, people do often go out of the way for me and in larger reasons and by means that I didn't expect. And so that's one of the things that had happened to me when my uh, kind of landlord said that she had found and knew that person that could do the steam cleaning for our carpets. So I was really thankful and happy. And then whenever I would feed Juniper, whether it was snacks or lunch, I would go in, I would see, oh, it was 1010 or it's 1212, it's 111. And all of the whole week or all of the weeks of July, I've been seeing angel numbers left and right. Whether it's when I get up in the night to go to the bathroom and I see the clock and it's 333 or 222. And I think as the closer we get to this move, the more and more I see it. And for me, it makes me feel like we're on the right path. And even though it's a big transition, it's exactly what we need to be doing at this time in our life. And so I'm really, really thrilled about that. And then on Tuesday, the 22nd of July, that was my daughter's 17th month date. And so that was exciting. And it was the first time that my husband wasn't going to be there on the day that she turned the next month old. And so that was a little sad, but we had a lot to have fun in that day because it was the day that my colleagues from school, there was 2 colleagues from our school that planned a surprise party for my other colleague. And it was so great, and they were so fluid in their planning, and it just went off. What's the phrase? It went off. I can't remember the phrase I was going to use, but without a hitch or without a hook. I don't know. I can't think. I am fried right now, and it is past 11 o'clock at night, but I'm so determined to get all of the updates done for this month that I'm just going to keep going. And it was so perfectly timed, and I was really scared because I had to get my daughter dressed. I had to make sure we had diapers, get her changed before we went, and I was afraid that I was going to ruin the surprise because I wanted to make sure that we were there before my colleague who was getting surprised, and luckily we were pulling into the restaurant parking lot and she was right in front of me. So the minute I parked, I ran over to her car and waved to her and pointed that I had Juniper, and she came over, which was perfect. And that also distracted her so that she wasn't looking around and seeing that there could be other coworker cars in the parking lot. And so when we walked over to the entrance, the person who had planned the whole gathering and the party was there waiting, and we all 3 of us adults went in together, and I was holding Juniper, and she scheduled or reserved a table in the back, like it was like a maze getting back there, but in the back room. And we got there and everyone jumped out and yelled surprise, and my colleague was so excited and so surprised. I don't think she was even expecting any of that, and it was a day to celebrate her. And so that was really fun because her birthday had been on July 19th, and her and her husband had gone up to Burlington and went out on Lake Champlain and went fishing, and so it had been past her birthday, and I think that's why she was shocked, because she didn't think anything was going to happen pertaining to her birthday. So that was really fun. And it was really nice because I got to see so many other colleagues that I've missed since school got out, and I hadn't seen any of them. And it was going to be one of the last times that I saw that many people from school before the move. So even though this day was all about my colleague and my good friend's birthday, who had also visited us the week before and gave Juniper all those beautiful gifts and gave me those heartfelt gifts and card, I was really glad I got to spend it with her in a group setting and just get to celebrate her with all of us there together. And that was a big part of Tuesday. And then let's see, also on Wednesday, July 23rd, that had been one of those perfect days, and things were moving and going so so smoothly. Juniper and I woke up, we had a nice breakfast, we were reading, we were playing, we were dancing, and I got her down for a nap, and I was next to her, and it just was such a nice day. And then I also, in I think it was like 3 weeks ago, I put in a video that I was trying to get in touch with the midwife and our doctor who helped deliver Juniper, because I wanted to try to see her one more time before we left. And I had gotten a hold, well, I hadn't gotten a hold of her. She had gotten back to me that day and said that she was going to be heading to Romania for a trip that she took for herself. And I'm so excited and I'm so happy for her. She's so deserving to go away for a vacation, because she is around the clock helping so many other families deliver their babies and their family members. And so I'm glad she's doing something special for herself. But unfortunately, that meant that we weren't able to get together. And let's see, um, Wednesday was also a day that Juniper took quite a big fall, and it was one of the first big ones that she had ever taken, and it was the first time that I wasn't able to like soften the landing or catch her in time. And I just I felt so much guilt as a parent and a mother. And I like, even though there was nothing that I could have done to get there in time. Like, it was so sad to see my child hurt. And luckily, I think, well, I felt guilty for days after. And my mom and all the other people that I had talked to had said, you're probably in more pain, emotional pain, than she was in physical pain, which is accurate, because she only cried for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I, because I ended up calling our pediatrician just to double check, because she did bump her head. And I just wanted to make sure, like, do I take her to the hospital? Should I get her checked out? And our pediatrician line nurse said that, she's not, she only cried for 2 to 3 minutes. I timed it, and she wasn't showing any symptoms of having a concussion or any. And then she ate a hearty meal afterwards. She was great. And I was just more shaken up from it than she was, which I'm so thankful, because I just don't know what I would have done if I had to take her to the emergency room and I was all by myself, because my husband was away at his job, living currently with my parents until we can all be together at the end of the month. And so I'm just thankful. But yeah, I that was a rough day. It was one of those days that were so perfect, and then in a blink of an eye, and in the next second, it like went from carefree to stressful. But it ended nicely. And there, I remember just being so worn out that both of us, and she had a hearty dinner again, and we gave her a little bit more Tylenol, because she was well, one, I was scared for her head bump, but also she had been chewing, and she needed a lot of her teethers. And so I gave her a little bit more Tylenol, and she slept great. And I slept really great that night too. Um, and so, oh, and um, so I said that my husband had weekends. He doesn't always get weekends off, and the last 2 weekends, for the 12th and 13th, he had those 2 days back to back off, and then from the 19th and the 20th, he had those 2 days back to back off. But then this week, he didn't have back to back days off, which makes it more challenging, especially when he has to commute over to see us. And so he was luckily coming over Wednesday night, and it just happened. Her little fall, well, not I, it was little, but for me it felt big. And so she had just fallen, and then luckily he was home just like an hour and a half later. And we all ended up going out to this field in the town over, and it's this gorgeous field where they play soccer and lacrosse and baseball, and it was perfect. And it had been hot that day, and by the time we went to the field, it was nice and cool. And she just ran around, and she had so much energy, and she just loves it. She loves being able to run. And with all the transition with packing things up and having people help us move, she's had to be in her playpen a lot. And so to let her just roam free, she was just in the highest spirits. And it made me really happy to see her so happy in that moment. And then on Thursday, let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking down at my notes because it's been so long since I've uploaded videos. Let's see. Oh yeah, Thursday Dan and I had dentist appointments. He had his earlier in the month and I had mine that day. And after the dentist appointment, we also did a lot of packing. We did a lot of loading his car up before he headed back. So slowly and surely, we were getting everything in our apartment transitioned over to my parents' house. And the moving truck, they were able to move it to the house, and the landlord was super awesome about letting us store things in his house. And so we stored some of the big things in his house, and all of the littler trips we were putting into my parents' house with my husband going back and forth. And so I am going to stop the video here. I feel like I'm about to sneeze and I need to blow my nose. And so I hope that everyone has a wonderful night. And I love you all. Take care. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.